Welcome to the Broncos podcast with Troy Renck. I am your host, Troy Renck from the Denver Post. What in the heck did we see happen here? White sand beaches, red faces for Tampa Bay. The Broncos pull off one of their bigger upsets in the last 5 years. Stunning. Tampa Bay 26-7. And the score, they were as dominant as it would indicate. Defense had a day. Tyler Bidet, that's how it's pronounced, had a day. And the offense finally awoke from its hibernation as Sean Payton delivers his signature win as the Broncos coach, the kind of win we expected when they hired him and paid him $18 million a year. He continued doing something he's done his whole career, and that is dominate the Tampa Bay Bucs in Tampa, anywhere else. What a win. I don't want to say season saving because we don't know where this is going to end up. I thought I had told you guys the reverse lock theory. I expected Denver to play well, but I had them losing 24-16. When they got off to that first drive, man, it made a difference. So we're going to hit on that first drive, the moments before kickoff that changed the entire game. Bo Nix playing his best game as a Bronco, and that orange rush defense just absolutely making life miserable for Baker Mayfield and Pat Surtain. Broncos on the board with their first win of the season. They're 1-2. Now they head to the wonderful hills of West Virginia for a week of practice out here on the East Coast. I'll be out here with them, with Parker Gabriel from the Denver Post. And then they go to the Jets. Jets. No E. Maybe there's an L in there. The Broncos breathe life back into their season. One of the oddest places we would expect them to play well, given how the first two games got. But they are on the board with their first win. We're going to get into all of it after the break. Have you been injured in a car wreck or hurt at work? What are you waiting for? Give my friends at Hoggett Injury Law a call. Their motto, with us, it's personal. I've known Darby Hoggett forever. He was texting me during the game. He was so encouraged by what he saw. He's a huge Broncos fan. I've become Darby's good friends. Many of his clients become his friend. You don't even have to pay Darby up front. If your case goes as planned, Darby will be the one writing checks to you. So again, if you've been hurt in a car wreck or injured at work, give Darby's team a call at 1-833 HOGGATT. That's 1-833-HOGGET, or visit the website at hoggettlaw.com. Welcome back to the Broncos Pod with Troy Renck. I am your host, Troy Renck, from the Denver Post here on a Sunday night in Tampa Bay. For the first time in a long time, I'm not flying out at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. We're staying in Tampa a day. Then Parker Gabriel and I will be heading to Washington, D.C., to then drive to West Virginia to the Greenbrier, Operation Greenbrier. Maybe they're going to have Born Identity with Operation Greenbrier. Maybe it's Treadstone and Briar. We'll see. But the Broncos country, enjoy it. Savor it a little bit. Their first win of the season. Who knows where this is all going to go? Who knows? But that was as an impressive a win by the Broncos that I've covered since Manning retired. No, but since the Dallas Cowboys, when Vic Fangio stymied the Cowboys in 2021. If you remember that game, the Broncos at Dallas led 30-0 and won 30-16. This is the most impressive road win since then. And you could say Buffalo, but the Broncos got Buffalo kind of pissed down their leg in that game. And you need not apologize for a road win. But Buffalo obviously had too many men on the field. It would have been a missed kick. Like, they had so many chances to win that game, and that was a defensive-only kind of game other than one amazing play by Russell Wilson to Courtland Sutton. This was built on the strength of the offense. If you thought that was going to happen, I got a few emails, too, in my inbox after the game. You picked the Broncos to lose. You're an idiot. They were a 6.5-point dog. I think at one point they were an 8-point dog. Like, I don't see the world through orange and blue glasses. I picked them to lose because they were the worst offense, arguably, in the NFL for 2 weeks, going up against a really good defense on the road. But, man, they did something. And when I say they, I mean Sean Payton made a decision before the game that shaped the outcome of the game. And what am I talking about? The Broncos, I'm watching the national anthem. It was a choir. They were good. So many national anthems just don't work because wasn't meant to be sung. It's a poem. This is a good anthem, and we're like, okay, good vibe here. It's 90 degrees, it's hot, it's humid, and the Broncos captains go out for the coin toss, and Andrew Mason, my friend, he keeps track of the coin toss, so sometimes it's kind of funny, but then the Broncos win the toss, and they elect to take the ball. I was like, oh my God, Sean Payton's mind is melting in this heat. It's just a continuing of the bad decisions we saw in Pittsburgh. The worst offense with 14 3-and-outs is going to take the ball? What the hell? And sure enough, and the crazy thing is, and you can read this in my column at the Denver Post, the players didn't know. They didn't know. Like 10 seconds before, like guys are going out there, the captains are getting told, like, hey, we win the toss. We're taking the ball offensively. Adam Trautman told me afterward, and we're going to hear some of the sound, but it was just, they didn't know. And I give Sean Payton a lot of credit because this is like he's part coach, part couch. He prides himself on kind of knowing the psyche of his team. And in this case, he pushed the right button. He pushed the right button because everything said, play defense, play field position, try to win 13-10. And he injected confidence in this team. And he said afterward, hey, I was trying to send a message. And it was the kind of message that's all caps in the subject line, offense, I believe in you. And sure as hell, it worked. It worked. And it was a decision that can change a season. And no people roll their eyes at that. I can hear your eyes rolling. But there are times during a season a coach has to know which lever to pull, which button to push. And Payton, by showing confidence in the offense, man, was that a Jedi mind trick. He literally convinced this offense they were good after two of the worst games in recent memory. So I want you to hear this sound about this moment because it's so important. And we'll hear a little bit of defensive sound at the end of this with Alex Singleton, which a defense, 7 sacks, and we'll talk more about that later in the show. Give the defense credit. Vance Joseph has these guys attacking, fangs out. You see that headline, Orange Rush, 7 sacks. But the moment that changed the game and allowed Sean Payton to deliver a signature win in Denver, finally, was his decision to take the ball for that offense, an offense that had been awful. They take the ball. So let's listen to what Ben Powers, guard, said about it. Adam Trautman, the tight end, said about it. Trautman knows Payton from his days in New Orleans, so it's even more fascinating how he saw it. And then we hear from Alex Singleton and Garrett Bolles and different versions of that. Singleton, I talked a little bit more with him about the defensive effort, obviously. But listen to what Powers, Trautman, Singleton, and Bolles had to say about the start of that game. And it's a players' league. Players win the game. Players. But Sean Payton pushed the right button, and hell yeah, did it make a difference. Let's hear from them as Big A behind the screen throws up a quick standing photo as we listen to the Broncos talk about the importance of that first drive, that touchdown drive by Denver led by Bo Nix.
You hear it on the sideline, they say, be ready either way. If we win, we're taking it. If they win, they're probably going to defer just because that's typically what happens. So they said, be ready from the jump. And we said, okay, let's go.
Did it send a message or give you a little?
For sure, it gives you a little juice. It gives you a little juice, definitely.
And what did it mean for the line to play like this after the couple games where you guys were trying to figure it out? Today, you guys put on a show.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen it. The feel is that we played really well, and so I hope that's what I feel after I watch it.
Right? Did you guys take it personally, or is it just a matter of execution?
It's a matter of execution and getting comfortable playing with the guys, and there's so many different factors that go into it.
Yeah, look good, man. Whatever you were doing. Plus,
I think starting the game saying we're taking the ball.
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
I think that tells you all you need to know, honestly. He's
Did
like,
guys
hey,
know going in?
I found out probably 10 seconds before the coin toss. Declan, the Titans coach, was like, hey, just so you know, like, we win the toss, we're taking the ball. And I was like, good. Like, hell yeah.
So did that send that
that's
message?
Yeah, I think so. He's
okay.
like, I don't care how much we struggled in the first 2 games, like, we're taking the ball. So I think that's a huge deal.
Can a game like this, because you've played on teams with him, can this kind of help you turn the corner and
Yeah.
get you going? And, what you guys talked about all offseason?
Yeah, I think when you win like this, it can definitely turn it. It's similar to last year in a way. Obviously, we won in Chicago, but we weren't dominating that game at all.
No.
So it's a lot different. So I'd say it's more similar to maybe Packers Kansas City last year. But obviously now it's happening way earlier, which is what we need because an 0-3 hole is hard to get yourself out of. So, this is a huge deal, and it's a huge momentum builder.
Did you spend any time at Greenbrier with the Saints?
No, that was actually before I got there in 2020.
You don't have any frame
I don't have any insight, no. So we'll see.
Thank you, Adam. What was behind this? This was like the team we thought we saw in the preseason.
Yeah, we just knew. I think we just played the way that we could play. I think offense went down and scored right away, and it was a spark we needed as a team, and just played our game, played our version of football.
How much can this turn a season when you win like this on the road? Now you're going on this kind of funky road trip. Can this be galvanizing?
No, yeah, I think it's huge. It obviously is one win, but when it's a win like that, you set a standard for how we can play football games, and I think that's what we did today.
You may not be able to answer this, but does Sean ever need a win like this? I mean, he's won a crazy amount of games in this league, but to get a win like this with this team on the road, does a coach ever need that when he's preaching a message?
No, it's a players' league. We have to play them. Coaches are coaches. They can only do so much, and they're not on the field. It's up to us, and that's what today was. We finally, I think all believed in each other, bought into each other, and played the game that we can play.
Last thing, 7 sacks. What does that say about this group that you've told me we're going to attack?
Yeah, I think, it was exactly, we stopped the run, make them one-dimensional, and we're able to get after them, and that's what we're able to do all day today. And, like I said, I think we've, been saying it, and we're able to do exactly what we've been preaching this whole offseason.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Congrats. What's up, Big G? I just have one for you. The line played its ass off today. What was the key?
Tell one time.
The O-line played its ass off today. What was the key?
I don't know if this was a specific key. I just thought it was, that's just how we are. And, that's our mentality is you put the ball in our hands, you put the ball on our side of the court and let us handle what we need to do. And, Coach Streif, emphasizes that to us day in and day out. I thought Palcho was a huge step for us, stepping up big for when Mike went down. And, it was just great. Today was his birthday. So, Coach Streif's birthday.
Okay, good
so we needed to, step it up big for him. Not saying that was, the thing why we came out and did what we needed to do. I was just saying, we wanted to win this for him. And, he told us all game long that it's going to come down to us at the end. And, it's going to come down to us at the game. And, I felt like we did a phenomenal job. I'm just so proud of Ben and Luke and, Quinn and Palcho and everybody that plays that game. And, in keeping Bo fresh and, just getting the W today.
Can this kind of win galvanize this team, get you back where you thought you were going to be for the
season?
Yeah,
I think a win like this when we had played, clean football in all 3 phases of the game. That's who we are. When we play clean like that and, we win the turnover battle, we win the third down battle, we sustain the momentum, we sustain, the possession of the ball and, we put it in our playmakers' hands and, us up 5 up front, protect number 10. And when we do those type of things, we're a hard team to beat. And, we just got to, take the good from this game, continue to take that momentum, learn from, the mistakes because obviously, the game's not perfect. So, and build off of this and just continue to stack one win after another.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah.
Congrats on the excitement you showed.
Well, we are back. I hope you enjoyed that. That gives you a little bit of insight in what was Club Dub. Smoke in the locker room from a smoke machine as the players celebrated their first win. Again, we heard in order there, left guard Ben Powers, tight end Adam Trautman, linebacker Alex Singleton, and then left tackle Garrett Bolles. Again, I don't think you can overstate how much it meant for Sean Payton to show confidence in that offense. And they go down 6-play, 70-yard drive, 70 yards passing from Bo Nix, 2 big strikes in there, one to Cortland Sutton to open the game, and then another big strike to Josh Reynolds. Some of Tampa Bay's secondary was saying after the game, it was like stunning that they were questioning their own technique, kind of what they were seeing. They were surprised and kind of wondering what was going to come next because They didn't expect that from the Broncos offense. And frankly, it would be hard to blame them based on what they would have seen on film in the first 2 games. And to go up 7-0. And I've said this in the previous pod. I think if they had scored a touchdown in Seattle off of the Singleton interception, maybe that game turns out differently. But they settle for a field goal. Field goals lose road games. And that was kind of the problem after they got to 14. They had a bunch of 4 field goals in there. But the reality is when you get up 17-0 on the road, you're in position to win, and they're able to run the ball a little bit. But it goes back to Sean Payton's decision to show confidence in that offense. And what did it mean for Bo Nix? How did he look in his first win? I want to get to those numbers after the break. Never a bad time to enhance your home. Maybe you just want to make it more comfortable, or maybe you're selling it. Glass doors can add a nice touch. That's where Jamie Hay comes in. He and his wife Lisa run RBJ Glass. It's a family business. Listen, they put in a sliding glass door in our house. We absolutely love it. It's had it for over a year. They do great work. They stand behind it at RBJ. They install European shower enclosures, standard shower glass. They do mirrors, window and glass replacement, insulated doggy doors, office cubicles, and small commercial storefronts. They have competitive prices and offer discounts to veterans, senior citizens, and have even accommodated single parents. So what are you waiting for? Give my friend Jamie a call. That's Jamie of RBJ Glass, 720-883-3144, 720-883-3144, or email Jamie at rbjglass2017@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Broncos pod. We're in the stretch run now. Let's talk a little bit about Bo Nix. Everything about the first 2 games was so stunning because it was nothing like we saw in the preseason. Whether it was Sean Payton coaching a team that he wanted, not the team he had, whether it was Nix having a little bit of happy feet, not having a pocket presence, whether it was, frankly, the scheme not fitting a rookie quarterback with 88 dropbacks in 2 games. But today, Bo Nix was more often, not always, but more often on time, on target, showing confidence, competing, and just being more consistent. And there were reasons why. Let's be honest. They were getting the play in more quickly. They were to the line of scrimmage more often than not with more than 10 seconds left on the play clock, which seemed to calm Nix and allow him to diagnose the defense a little bit instead of kind of just rushing and panicking through and just trying to get the snap off. So that helped. They threw downfield more. The rushing game showed some life. Now, it wasn't perfect, but Tyler Baday's got to be the starter, right? 9 carries, 70 yards. Nix, 9 for 47. Javonte Williams, again, 5 for 12. He's now at 13 games where he's averaging right at 3 yards a carry. I would switch Javonte to the third down back to the Samaje Perine role. Beatty's got to be my starter, and you fit McLaughlin in wherever he fits in. You can't worry about that. He had 5 carries for 7 yards and 1 catch for 7. For me, next week at the Jets, I'm trying to get Tyler Baday 15 carries, see what that looks like. There's just no reason to go with 3 backs anymore. There really isn't. But it all helped, and I'm bringing it up, to develop and crystallize a very clear picture of how Bo Nix can win in this league, which is a little more balance. The offensive line kept him clean, as you heard from Garrett Bolles. There was hardly any pressure, let alone sacks. It was just a much different quarterback. No sacks in this game, and he was only going to be. They only had real pressure a few times. Tampa Bay was missing a couple of starters up front, and that's clearly an issue. But hey, Broncos need not apologize for that. They've had many games where they played with inferior talent or injuries. That's the NFL. But Nix, listen to these numbers: 25 of 36. 216 yards, no sacks, no touchdowns, 31-yard long toss. That was to Josh Reynolds on that first drive. Again, after the first drive of 70 yards, it's a little concerning. You're talking about 21 completions for, right around like 140 yards, right around that number. But at least that first drive gives you something to work with where you're like, okay, they can go downfield. Cortland Sutton, 7 catches, 68 yards. Lil Jordan Humphrey, 6 for 37. And again, Javonte Williams, 4 for 29. That's why I'd make him the third down back. And Reynolds, 1 for 36. It was a much more diversified attack. The offensive line played significantly better from what we saw those first 2 weeks. And that starts across the board with Miners, Powers, Wattenberg, Bolles, and Alex Pachevsky, the rookie right tackle. He put in work. As you heard, it was Zach Streif, the O-line coach's birthday. Nice present to him because the O-line had been statistically terrible. By any objective measure, they'd been terrible, and they played their ass off today. So credit to them. But Bo Nix showed you a little of that RPO game, a little bit of that athleticism. 9 carries, 47 yards, and he's not taking hits. He was threatening to be their leading rusher for 3 straight games until Beatty broke off a 43-yarder. I think it was about midway through the fourth quarter. But Nix, very encouraged. Afterwards, Sean Payton kind of had a snippy response about him having confidence. He's like, hey, that's your narrative. That's not it. He's never lost confidence. And that's fine. Payton, remember, learns from Bill Parcells. Don't take the cheese. They win a big game. So what does he do? He downplays it. And I'm not saying to his team, but he certainly does to us. Like, not a big deal. We expected to win. You're acting like Bo Nix reinvented himself. He didn't. He just played the way it was a better game plan. We did a better job as coaches, and he executed. That's part of this. If you're a winning team, you don't want to overreact. Like my CU alums, I'm a CU storming the field after Baylor. Listen, I love the excitement of student body. Do we have to storm the field after Baylor? And so when you react, if you overreact as an NFL coach to a win like this, it's basically saying we don't expect to win. And Peyton is delivering the opposite message of, yeah, we did this. Of course, this is who we are. We'll see. But Bo Nix, very encouraged by what we saw. We've talked about this season being viewed through the prism of his development. We need to see incremental improvement. And today we saw a player much more comfortable, aggressive when necessary, taking care of the ball, more decisive, better decisions. And it was all due to him improving and them playing complementary football. Special teams kicked ass today too. Marvin Mims had a big return. I even said he went the wrong way kind of on purpose, just the way the hole opened up on a long punt return. Will Lutz has been absolutely nails. We're off tangent here, but he has been a huge upgrade over Brandon McManus over the last year and a half. But they played complementary football. And Bo Nix showed you when he takes care of the ball, this team can be in position to win games. And now they go to New York and have that chance. But we will finish this up then. Why'd they win? For me, they won because of Sean Payton's decision to show confidence in a struggling offense. But let's not dismiss what the defense did. 7 sacks? Are you kidding me? DeAndre Tillman, a guy most of you probably haven't heard of, called up because Baron Browning's out for 4 weeks with a foot injury. All he does is deliver 2 sacks. Guys were just roasting him in the locker room afterward, having fun with him as he was doing the interview, just absolutely wearing him out. That's a good sign, though, when your teammates are ribbing you, that how much they enjoy you being around. He has 2 sacks. Cooper had a sack. Zach Allen's pressure continued. 6 of those sacks, folks, were in the second half. I mean, Baker Mayfield, 25 of 33 for 163 yards. And he had the 1 pick, Brandon Jones, who had a fumble recovery and a pick. But they absolutely neutralized the pass game. And they ran pretty well because Bucky Irvin, a lot of guys from Oregon in this game, with Troy Franklin, Bo Nix, Bucky Irvin, Alex Forsythe, a lot of Oregon guys. But Irvin, he was almost identical. He was to Bidet, 9 for 70. But the Broncos rush defense, 16 for 91, 32 came on 1 carry by Irving. But their pass defense, Pat Surtain, again, I'll use it because I love it and it's mine. My line that he turned Mike Evans into Chick-fil-A because he was not open on Sunday. Mike Evans got to the point late in that game where he was like 3 steps into his route and just like, I don't even know why I'm running out here. I know I'm not getting the ball. That it was an absolute clinic that Surtain put on. Riley Moss gave up the 1 touchdown to Godwin, but he's played pretty well these first 3 weeks. He's played pretty well, but P. Ryan put on a show. Brandon Jones is giving them, you can see an aggressiveness they like from that safety spot, and that takes nothing away from Justin Simmons, who had a pick of Patrick Mahomes last night, his 6th pick to Mahomes for the Falcons. But they wanted something different from that position. And Brandon Jones has shown kind of why they like him. He's physical, and it made a nice read on his pick. But the difference I see with this defense is they have depth up front with Malcolm Roach, John Franklin Myers to pair with DJ Jones and Zach Allen. They are just significantly improved up front on the D-line. And because of their ability to rotate bodies, stay a little fresher, offense staying on the field, that didn't hurt. You're seeing a defense that can make plays. And that's 7 sacks. I mean, just don't sleep on that. They only gave up 223 yards total, 4 yards a play. Cap tip to Vance Joseph and that group. They have played well enough for this team, frankly, to be undefeated. That's how well they've played defensively. But what you saw is encouraging because now you see the possibility where you could go win at New York. And I'm not saying they will. Aaron Rodgers, with all due respect to Baker Mayfield and his hot start, is way better than Baker Mayfield. But if the Broncos can stay on the field offensively, you could see how they could be in a game and in position to win a game against the Jets. Because the Jets are not explosive offensively. They're not. But they're getting better. They're dangerous, certainly. But my belief is if the Broncos can be stout against the run, they're going to get at least one shot at a fumble or a pick that could turn a close game. But that Orange Rush, let's give them some credit, folks. Orange Rush, the last time I used that headline, the Broncos won the Super Bowl over the Panthers. And that was just relentless with 2 Hall of Famers, DeMarcus Ware, who's in the Hall, and Von Miller, who will be someday as a first ballot guy. They don't have anyone like that. But what they saw today is, again, an attacking defense. You got a shutdown corner on one side and the ability to get up the field with Cooper, with Ellis, with Tillman. I mean, guys that you're like, what, who, what? Good sign. It's one win. But that win can set a standard of what it looks like for a young team. We've talked about needing playmakers to make plays. At some point, you just go make a play. And we saw that from Jaleel McLaughlin on his touchdown run on that 4th and 1, where everything, he's dead to rights. He just made a play at the goal line. We saw it with Cortland Sutton on the first play on a back shoulder. Just go make a play. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't play the victim. Just go make a play. As they say to AAA players in the minor leagues, you don't like it? Play better. Make a play. DeAndre Tillman, just go make a play. Bo Nix, make a play to Josh Reynolds. And that's how you win. That's how you win. And that's how you win on the road. Complimentary football, taking advantage of opportunities. And the Broncos scored in their first 2 shots in the red zone touchdowns. They had 1 touchdown in 2 games coming into the red zone. So Broncos country, enjoy it. Enjoy it. I don't know where this is all going to end. If this team plays like that, then the over's back in play. It's 6-7 wins. If they play anything offensively like they did the first 2 games, then it's the under. It's going to be around 4 wins or 5 wins. But what we saw on Sunday here in Tampa was Sean Payton's delivering a signature win. This is why you pay him $18 million a year, to outcoach the other team, to push the right buttons with his team, to make the difference and win with the headphones, and consider it Freud for thought. Psychologically, he tricked his own offense into playing better. That's what you want from a coach with his resume. So give him credit. Broncos get their first win. They're on the board. Now off to West Virginia for practice, and then against the Jets in round 2 against Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets. So Broncos improve to 1-2. They're back off the brink, and it was least unexpected. So impressive win. Again, folks, I could not do this pod without Mile High Sports, Big A behind the screen, who is producing this. He's the man. And, of course, Nate Lundy. Then we go on to A1 from Day One, Darby Hoggett of Hoggett Injury Law, and, of course, RBJ Glass. Those are my friends. If you do business with them, tell them Troy sent you. Broncos country, I do this pod for you. Happiness that begins with me. Go out there and have a great day.